disingenuous because, quite frankly, you know the science.
Can you
know
define
the facts, you know better.
define disingenuous?
Yes, you're in the dictionary.
Can you
It's
define
right there, your
disingenuous?
picture.
What does it mean? I mean, I think it's pretty
You are not
disingenuous
genuine
to.
in your argument.
I
You sat
personally
there
would
and you
argue.
defend all of these things. You know the science. You know all of these things, and now you're
I
trying to
do
do it.
know
And,
the science, which is why I'm telling you
if you
that a
get no play,
heartbeat
give me
does
a
not
break.
begin 4 to 5 days after conception.
It begins 18
I know more
to 21.
science because the amount of medical misinformation that has been spread on here is astounding. Second of
It
all,
is astounding,
I think it's
mostly from
I think it's disingenuous for you to ad hom someone when you cannot have the intellectual capacity to debate them.
I do have the intellectual capacity.
Then I will
don't have the patience for ignorance.
I trust you will have the rest of this debate without attacking my character. Thank you. And tell me that I'm 12 years old.
I did not say that.
I told you were 12. I asked you if you were 12.
Not both of you being a bitch. Behavior. Damn, I thought it was just one of you.
Well, if you look
at the, I didn't call you 12.
If you look at
old enough to know better.
If you look at the live, there's 2 females in here, and I'm the one that you came for. So
I didn't come for either.
Not to mention, I never even said a fucking word.
Yeah, so, I know, host, you're fine. But so everybody in the comments watched me debate and knows I didn't say a word. I was literally just talking about science and abortion.
Here's the fact, Saanvi. It's 2022. You know damn well that you can prevent pregnancy. You can download an app and track your cycle. You can take ovulation tests. You can do all of these things because there's only a very specific window of time that you can get pregnant. Don't have sex during the time that you're ovulating. It will not kill you to keep your pants on during those days.
Ooh,
you can also properly use birth control. You can make your partner properly use a condom. You can sit there and make the choice and say, I'm going to have sex with a man that's chosen to have his vasectomy. But you're not making any of these choices.
Statistics and facts, and if you do not choose to accept this, that's on you. According to Guttmacher Institute, 51%, over half of abortion patients reported using one or more methods of contraceptives. Birth control is not always effective. Consenting to sex is not consenting to pregnancy. And just because, again, you get none doesn't mean you get to regulate other women's healthcare choices.
Oh, honey, I'm married. I get it more than you do. And to be quite
Lindsay, guys, can I speak for a second, please?
Then why are you obsessed with other women's vaginas?
I'm obsessed with standing up for those that can't stand up for themselves, because it took people standing up for slavery. It took people standing up for the Holocaust. It took people standing up for all of these things. And you know better. Like, I don't even understand what the point of you doing this is.
Abortion isn't comparable to slavery. 2, Black people and Jewish people don't need your allyship, right? They can stand up for themselves. 3,
abortion isn't comparable to slavery. Isn't that what you guys were just talking about in the last live?
Let me finish.
That it was comparable? Pretty sure.
The Holocaust and slavery were sufferings and torturings of born sentient people. Abortion before 24 weeks, which 99% of them are, is done to an organism that has not yet established sentience.
Do you have any children?
I don't need to. I would abort them.
Infamous Sir Lindsay, can I let Mike in?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I will be back in a second.
Man, Saanvi, you gotta interrupt my workout.
I mean, I didn't make you join, but
bruh,
lifting and debating is kind of the move.
Bruh. Why you gotta come in here with your hypocrisy?
Mike, I don't know if you watched this. I literally came in here and started talking about science and abortion. And then the first thing I was asked is if I was 12 years old. And then I was told to keep my legs shut. And if you can't, and then I was told that I was being disingenuous. So if you can't have a debate without insulting me, then that just tells me you're not smart enough to debate me.
I mean, I think it's weird that you were one of the good pro-life advocates, and now you all of a
Right.
sudden
So that should
pro-choice.
tell you, because I am very researched and well informed before I ever take a stance on anything. That should tell you that there's a good reason I changed my mind.
Okay, what is the most influential reason?
I would probably say looking into neuroscience and embryology.
Okay, and how does that substantiate your stance?
There's no way to substantiate rights at conception besides invoking God, because there's no characteristics present at conception that can logically be valued.
What characteristics are you describing sentience?
That would be one.
Okay, what else?
You can self-awareness, cognition,
Self-awareness.
perception.
When does self-awareness develop?
So there's a few studies that put it at perception, defining self-awareness as perception. Then there's other ones that
Perception.
define it as personal identity. So
Okay.
defining it as perception, 24 weeks.
Perception, self-awareness. I mean, the studies are really inconclusive with this. I mean, that some of them say 24 weeks, some say as late as 6 months after birth.
Right, because they're using different definitions.
Yeah, because it's inconclusive, so it's really irrelevant to bring
the
that up.
scientific consensus and the neurological consensus at this moment is that
Where's the neurological consensus? And body integration. Oh, can you elaborate that?
Sure. So it's like when your organ systems and processes are now connected to your brain via thalamocortical radiations. And at that point, you can sort of perceive your body systems and the surroundings around your body systems, things like that.
So as far as like being able to feel pain,
that can be one indication. But yeah, I mean, sure, if you want to say that, that's one thing. But another thing is having a sense of well-being versus suffering.
A sense of well-being.
Yeah. So
okay,
like
that's pretty subjective.
In the second
the science is still unclear on that aspect, but the science is very clear as far as pain, being able to feel pain, being able to stimulate and being able to sense pain.
Yeah.
We have very conclusive studies between 10 and 12 weeks.
No, that's actually incorrect. So what you're referring to are wait, let me finish. No, this is my field of study. I got it.
Oh, is it?
So mind has not integrated with the central nervous system. It's like what plants or ants would feel when you squish them.
Okay.
It is not any type of conscious experiential pain.
So the studies that the Supreme Court used
precedent.
I'd rather take advice from the full-fledged doctors rather than the doctors in training.
You mean this? It wouldn't be a doctor; it would be a scientist.
Scientists, doctors. You want to play that game, but I'd rather take the advice from the credentialed people that have practice rather than the student
I agree.
that has little experience.
I agree. So like neurologists that would like nearly wholeheartedly agree that nociceptors are different from conscious experiential pain.
Yeah, I'd still rather lean on the decisions that the highest court in the land would utilize. I figured they have the availability of the top scientists.
You can look to politically charged Supreme Court members for your worldview. I will look to scientists.
I mean, they cited scientists. I mean, then you have the Supreme Court decision. You also have the Lazier Institute. I mean, those are just two.
Again, the Supreme Court also used adoption as a justification for Roe. So sorry if I'm not trusting their logic or expertise.
What do you mean justification for Roe?
Oh, because they specifically mentioned how there was a demand for adoption.
There is a demand for adoption.
That is not what I'm talking about. person that wants to put their kid up for adoption is someone who doesn't want to be a parent. Abortion is for somebody that doesn't want to be pregnant. Two different things.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of preventative measures in order to not be pregnant.
Sure. And like I said, 51% of abortion patients reported using one or more types of contraceptives. That's over half.
Okay, properly used is the key word.
Hold on.
I totally agree. So the best way to fix that, more comprehensive K through 12 sex education, affordable access to
Did you just say K?
Contraceptives.
So you think 5-year-olds need to know? What the fuck is wrong?
I think they should know about
I'm not going to be fucking nice right now. You think a 5-year-old needs to know about getting down and dirty and not getting pregnant? Are you fucking sick in the head? They should know about consent. They should know about consent. Consent is different from sex. A 5-year-olds get sexual. Wait, let me finish. Stop. Don't interrupt me. 5-year-olds get sexually abused and exploited most commonly and frequently by somebody they know. By teaching it in the K through 12 system, we could be literally reducing the amount of child victims that exist. Yeah, and it's a slippery slope into what they're going to be teaching.
I support teaching them the anatomical name of body parts so they could use it in court if they were ever assaulted. And 2, I support teaching them about consent. They do not have to give anybody parts of their body.
That is not a teacher's job. Teachers don't learn how to teach that at school. When you go to school to learn to be a teacher and you get your that is not what you are learning to teach kids. And it is not your place as a teacher to sit there.
Hold on. If you don't want it to be a teacher, if you do not want it to be a teacher who does not have this type of training, I totally agree. It should be somebody that's like a social worker or a professional in the field that knows how to teach kids.
I would say, as far as teaching children, we need to understand that there is a line between what educators are charged with and what parents are responsible for.
A parent is more likely to sexually abuse their child, so it would make more sense to reduce the amount of child victims by teaching it in schools.
No.
That is factually correct. Parents or somebody close to the child relatively is more likely to sexually abuse a child.
The teachers, we do not charge our teachers with teaching that aspect. We charge our teachers
so let
with
it be a social worker.
It
should be a social worker.
I don't want to